Welcome back to the RaidCall EMS 1-4 finals. I have now Loda from Alliance and Notail from Fnatic joining me for a very quick pre-game interview. So maybe let's start with you guys. Throughout the whole year, unfortunately, you couldn't quite get that win in a bigger tournament. This is the last one for you guys this year. Do you feel confident that maybe this time it is it?
I wouldn't say 100% confident. I mean, we always have the confidence with us, but saying that we're going to 100% win against these kind of teams, like, I don't want to put too many money on that. But yeah, I think we have a good shot.
All right, so Loda, you have been facing off against Fnatic during the MLG as well as DreamHack, and both of those times Fnatic came out on top. Do you think you can get your revenge this match now?
I have to agree with Notail, kind of. I think that, I mean, they have the upper hand coming into this game, I would say. Pressure. But I think it's comes to the form of the day and everything. It's always difficult playing a really, really good team, and Fnatic is a top 3 team in the West for sure. So we'll just have to see.
Well, we definitely can't wait to see that game on its way. So I'll let you guys get back to your desks, and also we're going to go over to our caster desk.
Thank you very much, Zoe. We are back here at the caster's desk. Myself, Toby1, as well as Melk, and we are here for one hell of a game, man. Like, it's these guys, as Zoe said, have been playing a hell of a lot, be it through MLG, be it through DreamHack. It's Fnatic and Alliance. It's always a fun game when these guys play.
Definitely interesting, and it's a best of one with a lot on the line. Like, the loser is obviously through to the playoffs. Oh, the winner. Yeah, the winner. And the loser's going to play StarTale again. On paper, whoever goes down to face StarTale is still the favorite to win that matchup, but you want to go through as the winner of this, especially because otherwise you'll have to face potentially a team like VG Gaming tomorrow in your first match. If you come through as the second seed, assuming a team such as VG Gaming or maybe Navi, whoever's the stronger of the two.
Or Sigma.
Or Sigma.
Either way,
I'm just running by my favorite assumptions here.
Either way, you're basically facing up against a top quality team when you get to the next round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both teams are very eager to actually please their fans as well. We've seen Alliance, despite being a very dominant team throughout the year, they've sort of been falling off their form the past month or so.
Yeah,
they didn't really do well at MLG.
They've really been stretched.
Yeah.
They've been stretched very, very thin. It was one of the big things that Loda was talking about, where they just haven't had time to practice. But it's also the fact like they were all very jet lagged, like coming back from MLG. Like, you travel west, you get used to that time zone, then you travel back east again, and your body takes a long time before it's able to adjust. My body's still kicking me in the groin since Korea. Like, it takes a while before you're able to get back up and on your feet again. But
I'm sort of torn on it. Like, on one side, I'm like, you could argue they've won so many things already this year, they don't need to win anything else. On the other side, this has really been the year of Alliance, so they sort of deserve to end it on a high. So you can make a case for Alliance not deserving it and deserving a victory to close the year out with.
And then there's Fnatic. At the same time, that Fnatic should win. Like, they haven't won. They got there.
Exactly. It's been like a team that's been constantly on form throughout the year, and especially the past month, they've been looking so strong. They almost got it at DreamHack last week, and then Navi just got in the way. Navi just loves to be a party pooper and just ruin the mood for everyone else.
Navi got in the way pretty badly as well.
Yeah.
Like, that was a rough grand final.
It must have been hard on Fnatic because in the semifinals, they actually managed to beat Navi 3-0.
Yeah.
Then they go into the grand finals, they feel confident, and suddenly it's just a new Navi.
Yeah. But this is where a lot of Fnatic, it makes what's happening right now, the draft, just so much more important. Fnatic set their game up where sometimes they find themselves locked into only an early game strat, or they find themselves with some severe weaknesses depending on like the timing of certain items and certain heroes. And you can just find themselves like being like tunnel visioned into, this is the only thing we need to win that. If we win this, we win everything.
This is actually interesting. If you look at the bands right here, there's a lot of support bands coming out. There's the Crystal Maiden, the Venomancer from Fnatic, and then there's the Wisp and the Ruby and Weaver band from Alliance. This effectively means that Elder Titan was in the pool. And I'm thinking, where I'm sitting, it's like, Alliance might have studied Fnatic and know that they don't really like to play the Elder Titan. Maybe they won't even pick it. And then Fnatic picks the Elder Titan. Yeah. So Alliance got greedy and picked the Nature's Prophet, in my book, greedy, and picked the Nature's Prophet up for Bulldog. I mean, assuming this is Midas Dota from both teams, Nature's Prophet probably the king of the golden hand.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, like, one hand to smite, one hand to farm. is the way that Nature's Prophet works. But he is a great hero, and this is, of course, one of these whole like best of ones. I know I was saying it earlier today. You know the kind of Dota you're going to have with these two teams? It's very patient, it's very map control orientated, and that means it's controlled pushing. Maybe some earlier pushing, like the Chen and the Prophet come up, and this is going to scare Fly a little bit.
This plays very
draft.
well into both Alliance hands and playstyle, but they're going into a ban phase now, so they can remove the Enchantress and completely eliminate counters for Chen. There's no Crystal Maiden either. Fnatic already picked up the Visage, and you can make a case that was the wrong pick of support, knowing they're up against a strong Chen/Enchantress from Alliance, namely Ake, who's probably the strongest player, alongside, of course, No-Tail and Poppy. And that's one of the things about these three teams. That hero is just so important to either side that I think Alliance might actually have gotten the better initial picks here. They have two heroes that they play extremely well. Meanwhile, Fnatic got the Elder Titan, but it's not a hero we actually see them play a whole often.
See, I'm sitting on the side of the fence where I actually like Fnatic's draft a little bit better. And the main reason is because I know what Alliance want to do with this draft. Like, they're going to look for early towers, they're going to look for that kind of jazz. And Fnatic can go very aggressive with the heroes they've got. And if Alliance do push, the counter team fight is going to be really, really scary. Like Alliance now, like, I think they're thinking the same way you are. Like the Enigma's now going to be banned out. You take out the jungle options. You worry a little bit more about the team fight possibilities, which means if they're going to really commit to this, they do have to take out the Enchantress, like, as you said.
Yeah, I still think it'd be wise for them to
But
ban
I don't think
Enchantress.
Fnatic's going to be too sad about this, because I think Fnatic are ready to fight this one. Like, remember, Fnatic were one of those teams that like to go the very aggressive tri-lanes with the Elder Titan and use his Spirit to spam out. And then you got the Visage on top of that one, so you've already got, like, you got a spam Spirit. You've got Soul Assumption, which dish out a lot of damage, and then they just need one person to go with that. It could be Trixie playing that Elder Titan, it could be him as a core, and then they couple up with someone else which has like longer range, maybe a stun to throw into the mix, or they completely zone out the lanes and they think about a Keeper of the Light coming into the mix up as well for Fnatic.
Definitely,
you
Fnatic
could
is
do
sitting
these
in
kind of things.
Yeah, they're sitting in a very good position lane-wise, where they don't actually have to give away their hand. Now they pick up the Lifestealer. They still haven't given away their hand because for all we care, Elder Titan might be playing in a supportive role. He can be on the offlane, and he can even be on the middle lane.
Yep.
Alliance can't take the luxury of banning out offlane heroes such as Clockwork and stuff.
Yeah.
So Fnatic can easily pick up a Clockwork as their fifth pick if they want to. They realize that Nature's Prophet is already picked up for Bulldog. So unless S4 wants to play a mid lane Clockwork, that hero is just going to go through the entire pick phase unless Fnatic picks it up.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
This is looking really good for them.
Wow. The Bat Rider puck was taken out already. The Bane will be the selection here from Alliance, so wait for the Miranda to come up as the next one, and you do get your Enchantress.
And that's just punishing the greedy bans from Alliance.
With the Alchemist taken out too.
I mean, Alliance must feel confident going up against an Enchantress if they don't ban it out. But in my book, Enchantress have been and always will be the direct counter to Chen.
Yeah, yeah. Because she could just take the creeps back.
Exactly.
And even if Chen wants to like convert the creep back, it's like, well, I'm gonna do that, but at the same time,
suddenly the creeps have a timer.
Yeah.
That's really annoying because normally Chen is running around with his creep and they will last to eternity if they're not killed.
Yeah.
But once Enchantress has had her way with them, they'll have an expiration date, and that's
you know
annoying.
you know all about that.
It's
like,
so annoying.
Yeah, like Rise has taken your creeps how many times when you played your Chen?
Rice?
Yeah. Actually, no, because he's normally your son.
Oh, well, I haven't played against Rice all too much, but Aki has taken my creeps a ton. I hate the guy.
Well, I like the guy.
Well, I like the guy. I don't think there's anyone in the world who actually hates Aki. He's probably one of the most likable people I've ever met.
Unless you're like facing him in like either a game of Dota 2,
Exactly.
at which point then you hate him,
Yeah.
or in any kind of arcade games.
He's
He's a champion at that.
very good at
Yeah.
computer games
That he is.
or console games.
The Magnus will be the final ban out from Fnatic. And look at the ban out from Alliance. So they take out Hardy's Invoker. So both teams now realize it's just the mid-solo hero which hasn't been selected right now.
Again, not necessarily. The Elder Titan still might go mid.
You still think he might? I
think
I haven't seen Hani play it. That's the only reason why I assume not.
I haven't even seen Trixie play it, but it's more than likely Trixie.
I've seen Trixie play it a couple of times. I have memories. I have memories. It may not be perfectly related to this topic, but I'm pretty sure I've seen Trixie play Elder Titan a couple of times. I'm wondering right now if Enchantress goes with Lifestealer and Visage down bottom, leave the ET up top, and pick up a mid-solo hero. Because it's going to be Prophet on the top lane anyway, So you know what you're going up against. Just give him a couple of shared tangos. He can walk up there with a stout shield, deal with the harassment damage early on. I don't think he can win the lane straight away, but I think the more important thing is to make sure that Mirana and Bane combination doesn't get anywhere near effective, which means Enchantress and Visage have to be down there on that bottom lane with
I think Queen of Pain might be a great pickup for Fnatic right here.
Ooh, you're right.
She's fairly good at avoiding these things that Alliance have. She's fairly good at counter pushing, and she's fairly good at picking up heroes like Mirana once you get that Scythe of Ice going. So it's a hero very overlooked in these past couple of years. On the Alliance side of things, I think they should, and this is at the risk of sounding like a broken record, but Night Stalker and Beastmaster are two really good heroes against Lifestealer as well. And it would fit well within with the lineup they have. Beastmaster more likely than Night Stalker in my book, because of the Bane Mirana. But Night Stalker would work equally well, and it would give them a lot of gank ability and map control.
See, I still want to see Fnatic's last here before we can start speculating about Alliance, because I know what they would like to have, but right now I believe S4 will look at this saying, I just want to win my lane.
I think Fnatic wants to see what their last hero is. I think they're not
Unfortunately,
sure.
they don't have a chance to do that.
I'm looking here at Aero's face, and he's just standing completely bewildered and puzzled. He's like, what is going on, guys?
Well, he's still recovering from his game with Street.
He's like, he knows he's playing the Lifestealer, but he has no clue what else is going to happen.
Storm Spirit will be the last selection. So the jump hero combination with the Lifestealer, then more importantly, something that can keep up with the Nature's Prophet. That's the more important thing right now. Which means S4, what do you want up against a Storm Spirit? What really works for you up against a Storm Spirit?
Broken record time.
Beastmaster, Night Stalker. Night Stalker, I think I favor more now.
They both have a hard time against the Storm Spirit in the early levels, but they're both really, really good at shutting him down as well when ganks comes. Well, Night Stalker obviously because of the silence, and Beastmaster because of the Primal Raw.
Yep.
So it's both two heroes I would feel would be good against the Fnatic line, especially with Puck being banned out and Magnus being banned out as well.
I was about to suggest like OD could have been a selection as well, but doesn't really synergize that well with the Bane.
You could make the case that you could set up an arrow with Astral Imprisonment and obviously OD completely destroying the Storm Spirit on the middle lane. I'm not entirely against it, Toby, I gotta say.
And we get the Night Stalker instead. So
what a beauty.
You've had one Beastmaster and one Night Stalker for the day.
What a beauty.
Yeah. Yep.
We actually got our resident statsman from the Joint Dota studio counter-arguing that Chen has a 10-3 win advantage against Enchantress in 6.79. I was, of course, talking on a grand scale of things.
Yeah.
That's 9 years.
I always look at those stats like it was like 10-3. I'm like, yeah, but who was playing the Chen and the Enchantress?
That too.
Because like those stats that you pull out from like places like that Dota, they take into account every single game played by every single competitive team. And it only takes one team to play on a competitive thing with a Dota TV ticket, which is where all the stats come from. And it's just like Enchantress, Enchantress, loss. And then all your stats go to us. So, yeah. I'd always like to see like the limits of the stats. It would be nice. But either way, Fnatic and Alliance, time to get the party started. Into the game we go. And we get to start with our winners bracket final. The winner of this will advance through the playoffs to play tomorrow. And it means also they can have themselves a nice rest tonight. They'll go have a bit of a nap and do all that kind of jazz.
There's no surprise in the roles from either side of things. Era's playing the Lifestealer, Hani's playing the Storm Spirit, we got Fly on the Visage, No Tail taking up the Enchantress, and of course Trixie on the Elder Titan, as you were pointing out. And then on the Alliance side of things, obviously S4 playing that Night Stalker on the middle lane, Ake on the Chen in the jungle, EGM helping him out on support with the Bane Elemental, and Loda obviously playing the Priestess of the Moon with Admiral Bulldog on the Nature's Prophet. So there's no surprises so far. And it looks like they're going for the obvious lanes as well. The only surprise here could be if Fly was controlling his birds on his own instead of letting No Tail do it.
That Luna mount, man, looks absolutely amazing. I'm just saying. Like, that looks really, really nice.
Luna mount? Mirana.
Mirana mount, sorry. It's just because it says it's a Luna Dragon.
Looks like a fish out of water.
And he's even doing a spin for us on the camera. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, let's go back to a normal camera right now. I'm glad they fixed that. That was broken before in Like, yeah, as a spectator inside of a game, I couldn't control that. I don't know if everyone who's watching inside of Dota TV also just had their cameras completely freak out. Because on the Dota TV, you can follow my perspective exactly. Yeah. Either way, we do see our lanes now starting to come in. So it'll be Trixie down that bottom lane. He'll be going up against the defensive lane. So no surprise there. It'll be EGM as the Bane going to combine up with the Mirana. And then us Arcade doing his own little thing. And he's already waiting for, like, hiding in the tree line. But he'll wait for that that camp to spawn up in 30 seconds. It's actually blocking that in... No, he won't block it there. He watches and he gets himself a Centaur to start with. But Admiral Bulldog's going to have a really rough time on this top lane. Fly's going to try and zone him out as much as possible. Even to the point, yep, there you go. Early Grave Chill. Got a couple of early hits in. Admiral Bulldog, though, will get a little bit back with the trees, but the main important thing is making space for Era, who's already 2-2 on this top lane. And
because Admiral Bulldog is going to those boosts of speed, he can actually counter-punish Fly whenever he comes up for the last hits, because when Fly then goes back and stops harassing him, Bulldog can get in 2 hits in return, and that actually makes it hard on support to completely zone out a hero. Look at this. Whenever Fly tries to come up to harass Admiral Bulldog, he's just going to punish Fly and in turn hit him instead.
And there's the trees doing their job again. Want to watch this middle lane quite closely as well, the battle between Hani as well as S4, especially when you know what was going to come. Like, it's already 1 minute 30. RK and EGM, they're moving in a little bit closer now. There's an observer ward up on the high ground, which was spotted out a little bit earlier, but they need, well, Void, something, Nightmare. This will allow for the Centaur setup. Prophet's TPing himself in as well a little bit further up. Actually, he ends up cancelling that one, and Hani will go down. There was a pullback on S4, and Notel tried to get that Centaur in close enough so he can get a stun.
But the stun was already on cooldown.
Not from Notel's one. He came in and did the Centaur stun afterwards. So the first Centaur came in from Chen, then it came in from Enchantress.
Right. I thought there was only one Centaur.
I ended up being, well, unless my eyes are deceiving me and I'm tripping.
No, you're right, you're right.
Yep. Either way, 1-0 in favor of Alliance already. So they get the first blood in the middle lane. And that's a real blow for Hani too. He did, of course, have his bottle. So
on the bottom lane, we see Trixie getting initiated by that Nightmare arrow combo.
That's a horrible, horrible combo. When Bulldog does this again now, so he'll TP in, just making sure there's just enough damage to finish the job, and so he can leech out the experience.
Exactly. This is also good because he can't really stand in the lane on top lane. Fly has finally made him back off. Fly is out of regen though, so once Bulldog returns to the lane, he can really punish Fly if Bulldog does return to the lane. He's finding a regen rune. He doesn't find a regen rune. There is a regen rune.
No, it's on the bottom lane, though. So just have to go for a little bit of a wander if they want to try and pick that little sucker up.
Well, they have no vision of it, so they don't actually know it's there, but that really helps him right now. He could get his jungle going.
It is interesting to note that both teams don't have any vision over the rune spot. There's actually one thing I noticed, too, during the Dream League season, not through just the finals of it. Alliance, normally with these guys that spent so much time and money on putting down observer wards, sentry wards, everywhere you go, they basically had wards everywhere from RK. And they moved and they've transitioned into this little bit more like greedy kind of support. Like we look for these key items coming the way. Like Chem now has arcane boots, he has a ring of Basilius, he's buying these things instead. Like they're just putting a lot more money onto their heroes as opposed to just having the vision these days. Well, I suppose it's really hard to see what's happening on top lane when you have like 3 heroes come in with Centaurs and Hellbears and start beating down on top of your tower. It's very obvious. You don't need a ward to see this.
It's also got to do with the fact that wards were nerfed in the sense you can't get as many wards as you could earlier. Earlier you could have 2 sets of observer wards early on. Now you can only have 1. So you have to be sort of careful with what and how and when you place your wards. On the bottom lane, we see...
Oh, there's a Nightmare. The arrow's going to fly in and it will connect perfectly on Trixie. Hellbear smash, and Chen holds the nuke. He doesn't really need it, and Trixie does go down. But the tier 1 tower also goes down the top lane. So Alliance go 3-0, but Fnatic claim the first positional blood.
Yeah, and Trixie's just having a really, really hard time on that bottom lane, constantly being in the fear of Nightmare. Now he's been caught out twice. He might consider not going bottom again. Nope, he's going straight back to bottom.
I get a feeling this will be a lane rotation, though. You'll see the Enchantress and Visage move down while Livestealer just sticks it out up on this top lane.
That is very likely.
Either going between the jungles or basically top lane farm.
I wonder if Bulldog is going to finish off face boots or is actually going to go for a straight Midas.
S4. I love it. I love it. He makes a bit of a move. The second he realizes that Hani has left the lane, He moves up, knowing that obviously nighttime comes early these days. So Night Stalker is on the hunt inside the jungle, just looking for the Storm Spirit. And Storm wouldn't have done that unless he saw S4 run where he did.
Exactly, Hanne was sensing something was wrong, so he's just staying put in his tier 2 tower right now. And now S4 is back on the lane.
His vision's not that bad though, like the vision still cuts to here. And S4, when he ran up, he ran straight up the stair line.
Yeah.
So because of that, Hani did see it coming, and he goes back into the jungle again to try and farm up the Satyrs. It's like he just wants to 100% make sure he cracks level 6. And if he cracks level 6, well, I suppose it doesn't actually really help him that much, does it? Because you've got S4's possibility of silence and his high movement speed during nighttime. He'll have to burn off a hell of a lot of mana if he was going to get that done properly.
Yeah, but he just needs to get to a tower, basically. Maybe he'll have a teammate TP in or someone close to help him. He's not in that bad of a position.
Yeah. Well, to say to Loader and Era, thank you. We will have 2 hands of minuses on the field pretty shortly. Loader's already got the hand of minus recipe on him. And if he walks up, he'll pick up the... Yeah, there you go. He'll walk up and he'll pick up the glove, which means hand of minus is now available. Lifestealer does also have the hand of minus recipe. The Courier, though, has been very, very busy. This Flying Flaming Llama has been sending some extra observer wards out and the bottle back and forth for Hani as well. So it's taking a lot longer to get this hand of Midas of Eras up to him.
There was actually 2 creep waves ahead of Loader because Loader went for those kills on Trixie on the bottom lane. Not sure how he missed 2 entire creep waves.
That's a lot to miss. Oh, middle lane, Storm Spirit, he's actually got level 6, jumping on S4, dragging him back, jumps again, and then with the Centaur follow-up, there was never even a silence or a void. Hani is very, very low, however, with the Soul Assumption damage. Fnatic finally hit back in the middle lane. They know EGM as well as Admiral Bulldog running around a little bit up on the top river. They'll have to use the ultimate of Moran to get them away to safety.
It's great timing for Fnatic for this to happen right now. They need some experience and some levels on their heroes. And these 2 kills really made sure that Hani sort of catches up to the Night Stalker, because he's been sitting comfortably on the middle lane getting level 7. Hani was only level 6.
Yep.
Just because of that one gank that Alliance pulled through on the early game. Loader's still farming on bottom though, going for those power treads now.
He's just going to find his big damage dealing items, but he won't come out until about 15 to 20 minutes in. Like maybe if someone comes to the lane, then you put the Bane down there and you go, okay, we go again, Nightmare, Arrow combination, and yeah, here we go. This was 1-4 from Fnatic. Yep. Not exactly what I was saying is the rotation, but with smoke up on Hani, you're going to have an ability for a Storm Spirit to jump down towards Loader, and that is just going to be like bomb, bomb, bomb.
And Chen isn't 6 yet, so he can't heal Loader.
Yep.
Loader's very defensive, though.
Yeah, he knows it, because Fly's already showing himself up on the top lane. Storm Spirit, okay, that's a long jump in. Leaves one static remnant behind, then just jumps away again. Oh. The arrow's on the fly, but Hani sees it coming from a mile away.
Hani just stopped in front of the tower.
Yeah, I don't know.
Making a statement, I'm here.
You know, I left my flag here somewhere. I guess just going to plant it. Hani's able to win the race to the rune. That one tree and try to deny it off for him, but he finds an illusion rune. And now he's just being, well, now he's going to move in towards the middle lane. Needed the bottle charges available straight away, and now going to find that, well, the quick army of the Chen coming up, with trolls as well as the Hellbear. Not taking too much mana to do so, and the choice, yep, there's your jump in. Going straight on top of S4. Chen's already trying to send him back. Do they have enough damage to kick off S4? Yeah, they do. The Centaur Stomp will catch all the Fnatic lineup, however. But at the same time, they still got the kill again on this mid-solo. Trixie will have to tank up the tower, but no towel. He's already got his heal up and running, and Loader, he's in pretty close. Open wounds off cooldown in 1 second time. And Era, well, now he's in range. Oh, EGM, sorry. He's in range of Era. Nightmare's up quickly. Tries to break it off, but gets Vortex back in again by Hani. So after the 3 early kills for Alliance, Fnatic's rotation working absolutely beautifully, and they go 4 for zip after that point, and maybe even a little bit more. Loader stunned up once, stunned up twice. Grave Shield, he does not have leap. But Fnatic don't want to die back past that tower. Hani's too low on mana.
It's very odd to me that S4 even got caught out in that position, because they have vision of the Storm Spirit the entire way. They must have known that that arrow was still in him, because they hadn't seen the lifestealer since then. And all Alliance needed to do was just stay put and farm and not actually get ganked by the Storm Spirit that they had vision of the entire time. And then that happened. And they allowed him to just jump in and kill 2 of them. And Chen's sent back is still only level 2, so it takes forever, basically. Like, if you're getting gone on and your only savior is being sent back to base, it feels like an eternity waiting
we have our second wave of Midas. Gloves of Haste is currently on both Prophet as well as the Elder Titan.
But look at this, Trixie's also going for the Hand of Midas. He's got the Gloves of Haste in his stash already,
Yeah.
sitting on 1100 gold.
Yep, that's what I was talking about, man. The second wave from both the players. So it's the carries to start with, and then it's the offlaners to come in second. It's almost like it's like synchronized Midasing.
Era didn't go for Midas. He went for that Drum of Endurance. He has a Gloves of Haste. He can still go for the Midas if he wants to, but I'm sort of leaning towards him going for an armlet.
It is late, isn't it? Interesting. Maybe he also just realized too, like the timing wasn't perfect. Storm Spirit now going to jump in towards the middle lane, just pulling S4 back with a Vortex, and Fly staying in front of him. Made sure he stays in front of him. A little bit more though. They go invis, but not fast enough. The dust popped off from Fly, and Night Stalker gets caught out. This time they weren't going to get caught out by that Moonlight Shadow.
Some really important and good kills coming out from Fnatic right now. Alliance actually haven't gotten a kill on the board since their early game presence. So Fnatic putting on all the aggression right now.
Notel just buys a straight Hand of Midas. Like, not even prepping for it, just straight Hand of Midas. Finishes it before Admiral Bulldog, and now we have a level 7 No-Tail, who does what he does best when he gets that Hand of Midas early on an Enchantress. He just rushes the Aghanim Scepter directly after.
That is the one and only true build for an Enchantress.
The one and only?
The one and only.
You don't recommend anything else? Like, you don't say, maybe Drums and Urn is a good choice?
No, God, no. If you go for a Midas, you just go for the Scepter.
Yeah, it will be, 3 Midas then for Fnatic. Oh, sorry, 2 Midas for Fnatic. No, it will be 3.
Will it be 3?
I'm banking on 3 right now for Era. No. It should be Armlet. It should be Armlet. But we know these teams, man. We know these teams. The Midas, the lure of it is just too great. And Era's already got a lot of money, but he's not winning on the net worth. In fact, net worth is still belonging to Loda. Loda's sitting at 5.4k. Oh, as I say that, it changes over. Era gets in front, and boom, Midas.
Really?
Yep. Let the greed flow through your veins. RK, oh, is he going to deny the DD rune and the arrow? Those familiars. They came in and soaked it up just at the last moment.
Yeah, and there's the Elder Titan Midas as well. We have a great game in store, ladies and gentlemen.
We're just going to take a drinks break, and we'll see you back here in 8 minutes' time, when everyone's ready to fight. But they are, actually, maybe they are. The Hellbears are coming in. There's no reason why Fnatic can't go for Roshan. Like, there's no reason why it can't happen.
Yeah, we see Fly finishing off that Medallion of Courage, meaning that's an almost sure kill on Roshan. They didn't really remove the ward before running in there. That might have been a tiny mistake by No-Tail.
But it could also bait out the fight. Like, now Alliance, this is the vision of Alliance right now, which is very, very limited. But if Fnatic force it, like, Roshan's hardly even dying. The arrow, that's a long stun on No-Tail. Nice Stalker just avoided him down, but S4 gets dragged back. The Hand of God's already been used to try and keep him alive, and that'll be unsuccessful as well. Going even deeper, the ET ulti couldn't split anybody, but it's already a double kill for Era. Jumping up, slowing down RK. They already have the dust on him. Solar Sunshine damage, and it's going to be a 3-for-1. You can see it from the start of that fight. The arrow and the Enchantress was the worst possible thing that could happen to Fnatic, but they never started killing off Roshan. They wanted to bait Alliance into the fight, and that's exactly what happened.
I'm not sure that's how they planned the bait to go with No-Tail dying right off the bat.
No, that's obviously not the plan. Like, the plan is not to die.
I thought the fight would go Alliance's way, definitely, when I saw No-Tail just die instantly. But, I mean, Elder Titan's natural order, so much reduction, so that when Night Stalker ran in and got caught in the electric vortex by the Storm Spirit and then just have Lifestealer pound away on him, he just went down so fast. Chen had even preemptively sent him home. But there's nothing he could do.
So now Roshan killed by the Dire. This time Storm Spirit does get the Aegis without snatching it. It will belong to Hani. And Hani's already walking around with the Perseverance, so we're going to have Lincoln Sphere coming up for the Storm Spirit as his item choice.
Fnatic is sitting in an extremely comfortable position right now. I mean, Era finished his Midas 2 minutes ago, and he's already sitting on 2,200 gold, sorry. And Fly could, I don't know, is he going to go for a Mechanism, or you think he's going to go for the Scepter? Personally, I would just go for the Scepter. They don't really have much AoE damage on the Alliance lineup. Mechanism isn't that needed.
Nah, I'm kind of with you on that one too. Like, if you need it later on, let Trixie get it, if anybody. Like, he can go 4-staff and everything else like that, but like, leave it to the Elder Titan. Let the Visage have the power of the Familiars.
And I don't know if this Gloves of Haste and Night Stalker's inventory played by S4 is a sign of greed, or he's just trying to get for the armlet.
It's got to be armlet. It's got to be armlet. We're 15 minutes in right now. Then again, I say that after I saw Admiral Bulldog get a 38-minute Hand of Midas on a bounty hunter. So anything is possible. By the way, that happened only last weekend. It wasn't even like back in the old, changelog. It's the current changelog that happened. Yeah. So we hope for S4's sake that's going to be an armlet.
But Alliance in this game did everything right for the first 3 minutes. They did some amazing ganks. They pulled ahead very early on. And then, ever since then, Night Stalkers just haven't had the time of day to kill anyone. Time of day.
But it's not as funny when you realize your own pun. And then actually laugh at your own pun.
Well, no one else would have.
Obviously. So it's the level of bad. Alliance now going to go top lane. They got Alpha Wolves, they got Satyrs, they got Centaurs. Well, actually, Centaurs. Yeah, Centaurs.
Oh, look at this arrow from Loda. Oh, but arrow was inside Honey.
And they're just going to chase down Loda.
and No Tail is getting very excited over here. He's
so happy, man. S4. Oh, they can have a stun. S4 just going to TP himself back out to safety. No Tail's the other one TPing in. They had absolutely nothing.
I think the most funny thing about No Tail on LAN is like he can be so excited when something happens and then instantly stone face. Typical Danish guy.
Really?
Yeah, he just went straight back to complete serious.
All excitement and short bursts?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, nice. Nothing.
He is so focused now. He is so focused. But it's wonderful to hear him. It's wonderful to hear him.
I gotta say, he's my favorite player to watch, like when he's streaming from home as well.
We got a Necro book on the way out right now. So we answer our question, what Nature's Prophet's going to build into next. Obviously, we checked his inventory before with the Belter Giant Strength.
But he's been doing this, like Admiral Bulldog has been a constant in going Necromicon first item ever since this version came out.
Yeah.
You would always see them go for Shadowblade on any Nature's Prophet. But Necromicon has just been so crazy good this version that there's no way he cannot not go with.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We're going to push coming in from, I don't know if you also noticed too, but Era, Hand of Midas, now the armlet's done already. Mid-tier 1 tower will take a fall as well. So Fnatic claim their second tower, and then instantly in, underneath the cover of their own sentry ward, they smoke, they infest, and the TP towards the bottom lane. EGM's getting the primary one. The Centaur stuns him up for a moment, and now with the Spirit, oh my! That Bane stood no chance whatsoever. The tower even gets denied by Era as well, and they mop up the trees. Fnatic are having a wonderful game. An absolutely wonderful game right now.
You can see that they don't want to let this aggression go. They have they finished up 2 arcane boots on their heroes, one on Fly on the Visits, and Trixie bought one on the Elder Titan. And that's because they just want to keep on pushing right now. They want to have the mana so they can continue pushing down these towers and not actually have to go back constantly because they run out of mana. You know, a hero like Storm Spirit, very, very mana intensive. If you have a fight with Enchantress and she's firing off in Paytas' left, right, and center, she's also going to be out of mana really, really quick. And the same with Visits. So these arcane boots are just going to ensure them like the ability to keep on pushing.
Yeah. Yeah. I apologize too before Bloodstone. I said Lincoln's for some stupid reason. But it's a Bloodstone for Storm Spirit, who now also managed to find himself up with a DD rune. And a Maelstrom comes off here from Mirana. And I'm wondering if this is really just Loda thinking, oh, I should be farming faster and pushing out lanes faster, or if it's just Loda sitting there going, I'm really lacking damage right now, and I need something to make up for it during these fights, which Fnatic are obviously going to be forcing on the tier 2 towers.
Yeah, that and split pushing, basically. And I think it's not 5 minutes ago you were telling me how Loda was in front with the net worth.
Yeah, he's behind by about, like, what is that? That's 4,000?
3,000 gold.
7.7, yeah, you're right. That's 10.6. Or 10.7. Yeah, it's not looking nice for him either way.
Fnatic is not letting go of the death grip right now. I think they're going to look to start taking tier 2 towers soon.
They've got to be careful, though. We're approaching another night time in a moment. The egg is going to be reclaimed in 30 seconds' time. And then you've also got the problem where Night Stalker's just finished up an armlet. So he did finish the armlet and didn't go into the Hand of Midas, which 100% agree with. Hani, he's really considering that jump. I also don't know why, but I can call it to the tech guys. We're losing a decent amount of frames while we're actually moving around. You're fine.
I'm good.
Yeah, you're fine, but obviously I'm connected to the live stream. So
this is problematic for Fnatic. They really wanted to push this tier 2 tower, but look at Trixie. Oh my god. He is not going to be happy with that. He was actually fighting the book, so he had no mana. Oh, and on top lane as well.
Yeah, Lifestealer just in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
Huge momentum loss for Fnatic right there. So Trixie was fighting a book and fighting creeps. Got very, very low, and then probably one of the strongest Nature's Prophet ultimates I've seen early game. Oh, this is not even early game anymore.
It would have had a bit like the maximum bounce.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage. And then on the top lane, EGM managed to get up with the Fiend's Grip and actually kill off the lifesteal as well. So Fnatic just lost a huge amount of timing and momentum.
And add tower to that one as well, with a tier 1 tower being dropped by Alliance. And on that bottom lane, like Fnatic were trying to start the push, but there was just no follow-up.
EGM instantly builds into a Black King bar on the Bane Elemental. Banks that Mithril Hammer knowing that it's a bit costlier than the Ogre Club, and he's probably going to die if there's a 5-on-5 engagement. Speaking of Ogre Club, one Ogre Club up on Trixie right now. Hani finished the Bloodstone. Not a lot of progression from No Tail. Still sitting on a point booster.
Yeah, needs to get a little bit further than that one if he wants to have that Aghanim Scepter up and running. And there's nothing over on the courier for him either.
So I'm going to assume that Era is building into a Manta style on the Lifestealer, but it could potentially be a Linken Sphere as well, if he really, really wants to avoid that Bane Elemental. The thing about the new Linken Sphere is that you can also give it to your allies. So
you give it to someone like Hani who's walking around with Bloodstone charge. Do you want to protect that?
Exactly. It's never a bad item to have in the lineup.
Jump in. Now it's going to come from the Storm Spirit. He goes down a very long way onto S4. S4 tries to turn around those Centaur Stomps. Actually gave him a little bit of space, and now they're committing suicide from the Storm Spirit. Only want to go down so far, and the Nightmare protects S4 for the moment. And Fnatic, they're trying to retreat, but Alliance, they're riding their tail fly. He's getting body blocked up by the arming of the Treants, as well as the Sprout going down. But they do get themselves back into safety. And now it almost looks like they want to turn again.
That's amazing reaction time by both Arca and S4. The S4 got the silence off on Hani almost instantly. And the Centaurs pretty much stormed spot on where Hani just landed. Great play. I think they could be very, very happy with not losing the Night Stalker in that engagement. And of course, killing off Hani.
And they start checking out for Roshan. With all of that going on, we've kind of got to a point where we get our second Roshan attempt coming up. But it's still a little bit before the big guy's going to respawn back up again, which means all these lanes have to keep being pushed out. And Fnatic, maybe they can again try and... Well, I don't even think they even want to try and force a fight right now. Alliance are getting stronger and stronger with every minute that passes. And Lode's having a great time. Mr. Yasha Maelstrom. It's four, I won't say almost, but he has the Ogre Club for the BKB, so things are on the way for them. And I'm also interested too, like you mentioned before, like maybe Lifestealer is looking at the Manta style or the Linken Sphere.
I think it's the Manta style. Linken Sphere would be fairly unorthodox. They have several spells of easily triggering it from the Night Stalker and the Bane Elemental, whereas the Manta style would allow him to go straight out of, for instance, Enfeeble or Silence.
We've got another movement coming out right now. There's also a ping coming out on that mark. Whereas Hani, the Invis rune's about to wear off, and he won't find anybody. In fact, he'll be revealed right underneath the two Observer wards, and then the ping comes from Alliance. Just saying, this guy's around here somewhere. And it's just looking for the bomb. And that's the reason why, yeah, you just see Alliance now. They smoke up themselves. They feel they can get a kill here on Hani in the mid. And technically they can. Hani, long jump up. They found Loda.
What a great kill. It couldn't have come in a better timing as well. Roshan just respawned. Does Loda have buyback?
Loda does have buyback.
Yeah.
But he left to use it almost instantly. While right now there's going to be a fight from S4. Finds Notel. Notel able to get his heal off in time. So the rest of Alliance is backing up. Prophet was about to TP himself in. But I think Alliance is also going to realize the fact, like, Roshan, it should be his timing too. And Admiral Bulldog, he just spent his TP. He's 20 seconds up on that top lane. There is no choice about this now.
I think Alliance made a good judgment call here and saying we're not going to waste the buyback from Loda and actually try to commit to defending Roshan. Instead, we're just going to let Admiral Bulldog push the top lane.
But he's not even going to reach the tower. Roshan is already dead.
He's going to deal sufficient damage to the tower through this. It's going to be like, they actually use a glyph just to defend the damage that it would have taken.
And then Notel starts stealing his necro units.
Yeah.
So the downside about necro units when you're going up against an enchantress, because you even try to heal herself up and keep that necro unit alive.
But it's definitely the best move that Alliance could have done. I think they were praying for a miracle if Loda did buy back. He would have to hit an arrow because their initiate is really not that good. They have a Night Stalker, but he's not at all tanky enough to actually go in against these heroes at this point.
There's your arrow on Hani. No one's close enough. 5 seconds.
It's more right now. It's more arrows for scouting than anything.
It's not really worth it too if you try and jump on Hani. Oh, I cracked the Aegis Immortal, but I put my entire team at risk.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying Night Stalker just isn't tanky enough yet. He needs that Black King bar to actually run in and cause havoc in the Fnatic lineup.
Movements on the way towards the mid.
Fly is gonna, what he's gonna build? A 4-staff or a mechanism?
Oh, another 5 seconds. But it's so deep. It's just so, it's too deep. It's too deep. They just can't jump over the river for that. And it was a Lincoln's. What? Okay. Looks like they don't go with the norm. Hani's about to try and jump himself in.
And if I'm gonna analyze this in a much deeper meaning, these arrows from Loda is only gonna make Fnatic more aware of the fact that they're vulnerable to these arrows, making them more aware of it and focus on it later on in the game. So this is working against Alliance, that he's actually firing off these arrows. That was my deep analysis. How do you like it?
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. It's approaching the mind of the gamer.
exactly.
Yeah. Middle lane. Oh, we got jumps downs. Just Hani and Era bouncing themselves around.
Oh, arrow.
Looks like they were unable to connect, and well, Hani just backed it up. The arrow, interesting line. It ends up traveling, not through the gap in the trees. But these centaurs are all in here from the Chen. I'm pretty sure Hani's looking to get one of them. Nice centaur stun up on 2. EGM caught on the side. The familiars don't drop in time, so they're unable to get that stun off. But Chen also unable to keep his army up and running. Another arrow will come, and that's a 5-second stun over on Hani.
At this point in time, Loda's just being straight up annoying.
Buddy, please.
So, actually, a Lincoln Sphere finished up on Era now.
On Era, yeah.
Too bad he actually can't help against the arrows.
Oh, we got to jump in right now. That's coming out from S4. He got pulled back, jumped up, and then the ET ulti. Try and snap him around. But Chen makes sure S4 gets back to base quite safely. And another arrow flies up.
It's one of these combos, just like Shadow Demon and Chen, where you can actually just completely hinder an ally's death by just Nightmare after the send home. It's going to buy enough time for him to actually get home, unless they have a massive amount of damage, and they still don't, despite Life Dealer being as farmed as he is. Now Elder Titan actually has a Black King bar. These Midas are really doing work.
Yeah.
I bet Hani's regretting not getting one. He hasn't really moved past the Bloodstone.
At the same time, he's probably thinking, to move past the Bloodstone, I need to find kills.
Yeah.
No, he gets an ultimate orb up now.
And what's he going to do? Is he going to go for a BKB, or is he going to go? He's going to go for the Scythe of Vice with the ultimate orb.
They still need to disable her. Because you're looking at Mirana. Mirana can go into Amanda style, which is what she's doing right now.
Exactly, so Orchid won't matter.
Bingo. So skip the Orchid, go the Scythe of Vice, and even if you were going to go a BKB, it's his job to make sure that Loda doesn't do damage during the fight.
Right. And speaking of Orchid, Admiral Bulldog actually completed his Orchid melt.
I really hope Hani doesn't just go Lincoln Sphere because he sees that now.
Give me an English class. How do you pronounce the rest of the Orchid name in Australia? How would you say it?
I always got in trouble for my pronunciation of the Orchid.
Oh, I completely put you on the spot then.
Because I add an of the. Because Orchid Malevolence just sounds really weird.
Okay.
So I go Orchid of the Malevolence.
Okay.
Because it makes a little bit more sense to my brain.
Right. So I'll just go with the regular Orchid.
Yeah, you shouldn't break your brain already. Just go Orchid Malevolence.
Right.
Yeah. Happy to give English lessons.
Thank you.
Normally, though, people don't come to me for pronunciations.
We were talking about very common Australian catchphrases, like throw it on the barbie.
No, it is not a... No.
I'm sure it is, Toby.
Much to contrary belief, kangaroos don't jump down the main streets of Australian cities.
They actually do.
And we don't say, let's throw a shrimp on the barbie.
In the city of Noosa, there's like
The
kangaroos.
city of Noosa.
There's kangaroos in the backyard of every single house.
You don't even know where Noosa is.
It's on the East Coast.
Yeah, the East Coast is rather large.
Yeah, in the middle of the East Coast.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh my god, if
I'm
I'm
not-
right on this. Oh,
Jump down right now. Storm Spirit's going to go to EGM. Meanwhile, back at the game of Dota 2, Arrow connects out, and that's actually really stalled up Hani right now, and he will die, but the Aegis Seymour is going to be the only thing that triggers for the kill on the Bane. The ED ulti buys him a little bit more space, while Storm Spirit, out he jumps again. Trixie is really, he's out of mana right now. The Familiars managed to get themselves back in range of the mech, so they're going to be okay for the moment. Another arrow will fly off, and Hani decides to catch yet another arrow. But again, it's another arrow which is just too far away from the Alliance line that they can't go out there to just get the pick off.
he's got a sign on his back where it just says "kick me" or something.
Insert magnet here.
It's been Honey every time, hasn't it?
Yeah, every single time. And this guy just loves arrows, like pointy things with like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Regular Robin Hood.
Robin of Hani. That makes him actually the country, doesn't it? Hani of Loxley.
Loxley isn't a country.
No, it's
It's a part of England. In the movie.
yeah. I didn't say I was like. Yes. Wonderful off-topic stuff.
Right.
Let's get back on topic, huh? Let's come back to the world.
So speaking of item progression, he's got that ultimate orb on the Storm Spirit. Still not a lot. I'm not entirely convinced that the Storm is going to be enough for the late game. No-Tail has the Aghanim Scepter, so that's good. Admiral Bulldog is going for a Black King Bar now, which is an item I actually like going. Oftentimes, we don't see Nature's Prophets actually going for the Black King Bar. Especially a year ago, you would never see a Nature's Prophet with a Black King Bar, but it's sort of gotten more trendy because it's actually needed for him to stand and fight. Instead of just buying back as soon as he dies. That sort of fell out of...
Just don't be a glass cannon kind of thing.
Exactly, and it sort of fell out of favor just buying back constantly because Ice Rock sort of made it more and more costly.
Yeah, it's a huge punishment when you add 50% of your remaining respawn time to your next death timer.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, that in itself is a scary kind of thing.
It's one of those indirect big nerfs to Furion, yet he's still one of the most popular heroes, at least in European Dota.
Because it's still a split pusher. It still allows you to control the map.
Toby, it's still a farmer. That's what that is.
It's both. It's both. You farm while you split push.
It's actually funny, we've witnessed this change in meta game where if you looked at Dota 3 years ago, you would say that China would be the #1 country in terms of farming. And now we just see this Midas Dota completely dominating, especially the European scene. I mean, it started in China, maybe, but it's something that the top teams in European Dota really has taken upon them as well.
Yeah. Well, what was the phrase? The phrase which I was hearing over at DreamHack was just along the lines of, well, okay, this is what everyone else is playing. We tried to avoid it, but we just have to accept it for now. Because no one's finding another way you can keep up with the gold and the experience. It's just not possible.
Yeah, you have to.
Yet.
Fighting fire with fire.
Yeah. Except in this case, like, you don't even light the fire. You just like keep stacking up the logs because you get so much money. You just buy in bulk.
But you can make the case or the argument that the games still last the same duration. They just get the items up and running faster.
Well, in a way, yes.
But less kills, obviously. There's only 19 kills in this game in a 34-minute game.
Yeah. It just slows down the play because everyone's just waiting for that perfect timing of item. Like, it's the whole thing with the Hand of Midas. You want to make sure you get a certain item at a certain time.
Yeah.
Storm Spirit, oh, there's a long jump up towards the top lane, and this time it's Nature's Prophet. So Admiral Bulldog, it's always the combination you got to keep your eyes peeled for. It's the reason why Storm Spirit gets picked up against Nature's Prophet. He's just so great at jumping in like that.
What's
because
Arrow's
Shadowblade
gold?
got nerfed, you got no invis to hide in.
5,400 gold on Arrow right now. He's going to go for an Assault Caress. He's going to go for an Abyssal Blade. Abyssal Blade. Cranium Bass brought up by him. Pipe of Insight finished on Ake. And he's actually going to have a hard time dealing damage through this.
I need a lot more time to attack, but right now they're praying that Roshan's going to spawn, but Unfortunately, they got a little bit longer to wait for the Fnatic fans. But it's already been scouted out by RK.
And EGM's still just trying to get that Black King bar. He only got 300 gold. He's still needing that recipe, so he's 1,000 gold off still. It's hard times for the Bane. Maybe he should have gotten a Midas.
Maybe he shouldn't have. It's fine with that.
Look at this. Instead of selling his drums, Era's actually selling his... Or instead of selling his Midas, he's actually selling his drums.
It can't... Like, we're 35 minutes in. Like, it's no problem if you let your Midas go.
Well, he values the attack speed over the added stats gain from the drums.
Does he added charges, at least? Would be my hope he was out of charges.
Not sure. I just heard Honey yell out, "Watch out" for something. I'm not entirely sure what.
Unless they're feeling it's going to be a push in the bottom lane. But right now, Alliance, it's S4 being used as bait.
If I have to make an educated guess, I'm thinking he's afraid of Moonlight Shadow and being circled around the back.
Yeah, well, there's not really that much. There is no sentry vision right now.
There's no mana on Trixie either. He keeps on finding himself in these positions where he has no mana. Oh, that arrow finally gave away that position.
All right. Well, let's jump over to one of the teams. We'll see which one it's going to be. Because it looks like Alliance about to push up mid.
Pretty low mana, though. That's the guy's thing.
Break up before Roche if you have time.
You can do it right now. Like, if you do that...
Pushing mid. They're pushing mid, that's the problem.
We have Glyph. We can Glyph in.
Oh, shit.
If you want to snipe,
I'm tipping. I can whistle the mirror.
Oh, they're going for me. They're going for me.
Bane?
I'm slept.
We're getting the Bane, I killed Kieran. I tank.
Good job, bro. Nice.
Good job. You want to do the Roche or push?
All right, so Fnatic. Fantastic fight. The arrow almost baited Alliance to dive.
Honey didn't seem all that pleased with that fight. He was like, I'm done.
That was the question about Roshan. That was the question, like, do we want to go for the push or do we want to go for Roshan?
But even then, like, I don't think he was convinced they were going to win that fight.
That's
and
because he didn't
think
take
they
the arrow?
either, but then he was actually nightmared. And in a sense, that nightmare was his saving grace. That stopped Alliance from attacking him, which they could have. But I mean, at this point in time, Era is so big that he just...
Storm. If that TP completed, we would have ourselves a very, very dead Bane.
That made Fnatic actually back off. They still have time for Roshan if they want.
I think that's the main reason why they are backing up.
But that Lifestealer in combination with the natural aura, or natural order aura, is just...
Look at it.
So fearsome.
They want to turn and fight. They really, really want to try and turn and fight on this one. And now they're going to realize there is Observer Ward hanging around. That's the, well, I assume a gem. Yeah, it's the gem over on Hani for the moment. Another arrow from Loda. Having just a look up. This goes past the wing of Fly. And Notel's coming back in again. There's still no Storm jump in. But he does have a Lion Stealer with him. He's up to 11 Bloodstone charges after that last fight. And there's your jump. Long, deep jump as well. EGM, he kind of wants a Fiend's Grip. Something he doesn't have any mana for it. And there's already a send back. Hani's on the sidelines. The gem's now on the deck. Soul Assumption damage. Night Stalker just popping up the BKB. And wanting to fight harder. He's going to go straight through Trixie. And Loda trying to return to the fight. The Sprout controlling up Fly. He gets off one Soul Assumption and then tries to let Era do the rest of the work. Era, he's got an Infest, uses the Abyssal Plate, beating through S4. Needs one more attack. S4's got a ton of bottle charge. Now jumps in the, that range!
What?
He had to stick on the long side, but he decided to come back in again. Now Era held in position. He's armlet toggling this one out. The Storm Spirit now jumps in, trying to go for EGM. Hani, he's just bouncing himself around. He's going a 1v3 right now. Hex over to Loda as well. He's going to go deeper. The Impetus flies up from the Enchantress, gets the kill on Loda. And RK will TP himself back to base to join Admiral Bulldog.
What a fight. That didn't at all go as Fnatic planned. And then when Alliance did the turnaround, I definitely thought it would go their way and that would be their ticket back into the game. And then Hani just jumped in and we saw Era. How long did he stay alive? I think he like ran for a good mile before he finally...
It was a long time, and then because there was that one creep from Chen that was still there.
Yeah.
As well, I was really surprised the S4 try and turn on that.
We've seen some long infest kills today.
Yeah.
Earlier in the start.
You mean like he just sat there for like 2 minutes in infest, just waiting?
No. I mean the range on the infest damage. Night Stalker died. He was fairly close, but we saw in the Star Sail game as well. It was like, I think it was a Visage running away, and he just exploded from a screen length away. So Fnatic and picking up the third Aegis?
Yeah, that was the third Aegis. Cheese included, it's over on the Storm Spirit.
So now Honey's going to have a field day.
Honey has both, in fact.
But Alliance has been doing a great job at stopping him. As soon as he lands, they've basically been on top of him with the silence or stunts. Really good job coming out from them. But at this point in time, Fnatic is just too far ahead in terms of items. There's nothing Alliance can actually do. They need the perfect situation to occur for them, which did happen in that fight, and then they just overstayed their welcome. And because of that Bloodstone, Honey ended up respawning and could easily TP in on the middle tower and turn the tides.
Mm-hmm. We're just going to hand a Mask of Mana, being picked up by Notel. We'll have to give this cheese over to somebody else for now, because he needs the item slot. And we see our answer to the Elder Titan. Like, you want to build a mech? No, Fly built the mech, which means full AC. So Assault Cuirass after the BKB, 41 minutes in for the support Elder Titan. I say support, sorry, offlane Elder Titan. And Miranda finishes up a Monkey King bar. But this is in time for what evasion? Like there is no evasion technically coming out from Fnatic. Kind of like, you ask a question, like, should I go on evasion? Should I go on like Deadlist or something a little bit more?
Well, Monkey King bar is still a lot of damage. Granted, there's not going to be any kind of butterfly on Fnatic lineup, but I do like the Monkey King bar regardless.
Well, he's about to use it.
Look at this Elder Titan, though. Early game, he died twice on the lane. He had such a hard time. Then he got the Midas up and running, and now he's sitting on a Black King bar and an Assault Cuirass as well.
Yep.
Midas OP?
I can think so. Waiting for Storm Spirit. I'm hearing that guy is over on S4, and Night Stalker's already dead. Arrow will fly out, but don't worry, Hani. Actually, whoa, that ultimate, just at the last moment, able to evade. Night Stalker brought back. So Fnatic, they want to move themselves back, and maybe they will turn, and they will.
Wow.
Familiar's got the stun. S4, he can't afford to die a second time right now. The ET ulti hits almost all of the Alliance side. Era's going to get silenced up and boarded up, but again, S4 is out so deep, and maybe Hani, he chases in deep, and they got him. Night Stalker's dead 2 times in a row. Admiral Bulldog will follow. The Abyssal Blade going to work there from the Life Stealer. Admiral Bulldog will now buy back, but the Impetus just ripping through the life points there of all the Alliance players. Noto with a double kill. Now over to Loader. He leads himself down, but there's a bash. Abyssal Blade again, and GG. Fnatic will take the #1 position out of Group A and show that DreamHack wasn't a fluke.
And they were looking very shaky in the first 5 minutes of the game, where I was thinking, yep, Alliance is playing their game, they're getting farmed up, they're picking off kills, they're trying to establish lane dominance. Then Fnatic took down the top tower, and then it was just their game from the rest of it. They got those Midases up and running, and they just continued to push their advantage, even though they had the Midases, like they had the more Midases, so to say.
Yeah.
They actually were also the aggressors, and I really liked that. The fact that they picked up those arcane boots to just continuously keep on the aggression, and Hani especially just relentless in his pressure. It was a great display of Dota, actually, despite your hate for Midas.
Obviously the hate for Midas only comes from a caster perspective. As far as a gamer perspective goes, as far as winning the games go, it's really a good transition. Like, every single Midas they got built into something critical. Like, the AC came up just at the right time for that, like, the big push in. And it's like, that's what's going to get us up towards the high ground. The Lincoln Sphere, the timing for that was, it was right. You had the Abyssal Blade, you had the Armlet. You realized you had to get all of these big items up and running by 42 minutes. And you couldn't do it by just the normal style of farming. So Midas gets you to that level. And then Enchantress, like, it takes a long time as well to get to that full Aghanim Scepter sometimes, so the Hand of Midas helps you out with that one, and then carries you into your next item.
There's definitely heroes in both lineups where you can justify that Midas is always a good choice.
Yeah.
The way Alliance plays the Priestess of the Moon, where she's like the #1, the hard carry, they need that Midas up and going. And the same, as you were saying with the Enchantress, you need a Midas on her if you want to go for the Aghanim Scepter, because it simply takes too long, especially when they have a Visage that can build those support items that Enchantress would normally get. It doesn't really matter that much that she gets the Midas instead. And then, of course, with the trend of Midas and the fact that it might be a bit too strong, it's a solid pickup.
Yeah, that it is, man. That it is. And, well, that's going to bring a very happy Fnatic.
Yeah,
They're
Fnatic
go
through as the Group B winner.
Yeah, it's going to be a very nice position for them to be in. Of course, Alliance now have to play up against StarTale.
This actually makes me even happier, just on behalf of Tinbird and his humble crew. We saw earlier he said they were honored to be here, and then he said they would love to play Alliance, and they would be honored to play Alliance, the TI winners. And
because it's such an education as well.
Exactly, and then he said they didn't stand a chance against Alliance, and that he realized that. And like Zoe was saying, I don't even think they don't stand a chance per se, but I just like the attitude that he, it's not because he's not wanting to fight and not wanting to win, it's more that he respects that these guys have been doing this for years and they are the top dogs of Dota right now. So an all-around very likable guy and a very likable team.
Yeah, man, they're absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing how they go up against Alliance, because that's going to be coming up a little bit later. For now, though, we're going to hand over to Zoe as she's sitting there with our loudmouth from Fnatic. It's Notel.
Thank you very much, guys. And talking about likable teams and people, I got Notel joining me here. Congratulations. That was a splendid display of Dota you guys actually showed us here. And let us just talk a little bit about what we saw. At the beginning, it really looked like Alliance got the groove and they had it sorted. But after you guys actually pushed down the tower, it seemed to start to work in your favor. What do you think really turned the tide there?
I think the draft was favoring us. I think the longer the game would go like this, the better it would be for us. We had some things that would counter certain heroes, like Ench against Chen, Nyx against Chen, but we also had Dire, so we had an easier time getting Roche kills, and I generally think that we had a really solid draft, and yeah, it's true that they had a good start in the game, but I think that because we had the draft that we had, we kind of could pull ourselves back into it, even with a rocky start.
So the draft you were just talking about, was that something you would have opted to go for as well, or did you just have to adapt to what they banned out?
We expected them to ban completely different, so we obviously had to adapt. The thing is, the trade-off we have in the beginning is Visage, TC, and Furion. And we actually thought that they would opt for the... Fly said that they would go for the Furion, which he was correct in, and then we would get the TC Visage, which is so strong team fight. So having this on Dire will, it's a factor you kind of forget, but it will make your Roche fights kind of good, in generally 5-on-5 fights. And then the Storm pick, I think, was really crucial for us, to have it with the Nyx bomb. But yeah, in general, I just didn't understand why they would give us the Ench Nyx against the Chen pickup, since they did it that early.
So you just mentioned the Nature's Prophet. It's one of the heroes a lot of people at the moment die, as well as, of course, the Elder Titan. Why do you think they let that one go through?
The Titan or the Nature's Prophet?
Well, let's go with both.
I mean, you have to let something through. They're banning Wisp, and we're banning this and that, and then I can't even remember. But then they ban something else, and then it's all a trading kind of game, because you gotta give something away, and you try to get something better in return. But I would think that with the second pick Chen, they would have done something different. But I think that was what felt like a crucial mistake, because Ake had a really hard time getting much done in that game.
All right. Well, at the I really have to say, right at the beginning, it looked like your Elder Titan really had a rough time at the bottom lane, and a lot of people, I think even the casters said it. They were hoping for him to get away from the bot lane. What made him stay? Was that a team decision? That he thought I can do this?
The thing is, they have one of the best or scariest duos, which is Bane. Not only Bane bottom, but they had the Bane Chen. So one sleep pretty much means he's dead. But he has to kind of go, we picked the TC, and we have some options to go with it, but the other options we didn't like so much. So what we went with was him off lane. Try to get some XP, which is the most crucial thing on the hero, and it comes with a risk. So he paid for it a few times with his life, and it was bad. It hurts us a lot and benefits them a lot, but that was what we went with, and yeah.
Did work out in the end.
In the end, yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So you came on top of your group. Now we're going to see the second group playing their games anytime soon. Out of the other group, who would you pick as the favorites there? I mean, I would say a lot of people would probably say Na'Vi, VG Gaming. They're really up top there. But Sigma, for example, has been showing really, really well play during the MLG. So who do you think has good chances there?
I would say the Sigma Navi game, I would not put like Sigma anywhere near out. I would say 40-60. Like I was in a best of one, I would definitely say that Sigma has really good shot. I would give the match a 40-60. And then the Vici gaming, I have no idea. Like they played so well, but I've only been watching online and I haven't seen them play Western teams. So that might be a complete, like they might completely fluke Western teams playing against them, but you never know. So I would, yeah, Vici, Navi, Sigma, top 3, I would say. The AA team, I expect them to get knocked out, but you never know what happens.
Yeah, that's the magic of those kind of tournaments. So thanks a lot for joining me here, and of course, once more, congratulations. We can't wait to see you playing some more tomorrow. As for now, you guys have some free time, and we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and then we should be back with the next game.